Hi, it's me again with Corel Roll Tips and Tricks. Somebody was needing some help doing a more realistic vine. Um, I've never used or I have, but as a laser engraver, we don't really get to use a lot of the color tools. And I had never used the mesh fill tool, maybe just a couple of times. And I find it kind of interesting if you really play around with it. So what we're going to do, I drew a leaf, and anybody can draw a leaf. You can change your style or whatever, but I'm just going to use the Smart Fill tool to kind of fill it in on both sides and then actually nudge them over because I need that. So I'm going to nudge like 2 inches, nudge that over and nudge that over. And the reason we want to do that later, you'll see. And I'm going to go ahead and give it the outline. And I'm going to go ahead and group it together. And then I'm going to rotate it off its axis at the bottom. And then I'm going to control D and I'm going to mirror it the other way. But since I didn't change the axis, I can actually move it. So we're also going to be using the blend tool because I found out tonight you cannot blend. I grouped that together. You cannot blend something that's been mesh filled, or at least I couldn't. So then we're going to control D and make a duplicate. And we're going to bring this up here, but we're going to make it smaller. I'm going to hold down the shift and just have it grow smaller. Now I'm going to bring in kind of the same path I had before. And one thing with the blend on shapes like this, you really need to kind of put them where you want them on your path, at an angle on your path to make them really blend. Even though blend a path and rotation and everything works perfect. This is a lot better now I'm selecting the big leaf and the little leaf. I'm going to open up the effects, or I'm going to open up the, effects and blend, and I'm going to just blend. So I need to select them again. So I've got the two things selected. I'm just going to select them 4 times. And then you need to tell them the path they're on. And see, it does it, and you don't even have to blend really the full path, but you can, because you'd already had them kind of spread out the way you wanted to. And then you could always, a vine in Mother Nature is not perfect. Matter of fact, let's back up here and let's add one more, kind of crowd them up. And then you do need to tell it what path is on. And it did pretty good. We're going to go ahead and at that time, go ahead and select it and break the blend apart because we're going to need to do something with it and change the outline. And I did one thing tonight that I never had realized. If I make the vine black and then make it something other than a hairline, if you notice, it's behind the scenes, so it's almost perfect. But to make it even more realistic, I've done this with colors before, but never with the outline color. If you hold down the control button and you go to black and you go to green and you right click. No, really, you got to, I was left clicking, you got to right click. You're going to make that vine green or dark green instead of black. And I'm not going to worry about if we go here and select that and select our object and go up to object and ungroup it, you could tweak these leaves. That's not really and I haven't even got to the part of the video. If you move that down here, you could, rotate them a little bit. But remember that Mother Nature I said a while ago, they're not perfect. Mother Nature is perfect. It's just that what we think is perfect, might not be, the way Mother Nature implanted it and planned for it. So you could have some of them touching, some of them not. That looks pretty realistic, maybe. Now here's what the video was about. I'm going to take and I'm going to smart fill. I only really need to do one side. because we're just going to use one side. So I'm going to take that color and I'm going to use the mesh fill tool, which I've never hardly played with. And it is right here underneath your interactive fill. And if you click on that dot and then add it a darker green to those dots, I'm trying to get it. Well, you know what? Let's go lighter green this time. Look at that. And if you wanted to, you could do one side light, one side dark. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's hit the plus key on the keyboard. You don't have to be in any particular order. Let's make one of them blacker. Wow. And I'm not going to say which one's better. Let's get them, kind of get them close. And then take your attribute eyedropper. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Your attribute eyedropper and take a sample and pour it in there and then pour that one. Then probably hit your space bar, go hit your attribute, and this time we're going to do the light one. Take a sample, put it in there. Look at that. And you might want to even alternate, you know, the shadow from the inside leaf to the outside leaf. And then if you'll just hit your space bar, you'll get out of that so you can get your eyedropper back, take a sample. We've already done that one. And like I'm saying, you could, I'm not saying this is the best way. You know, you could have some leaves. But now, and I found out it doesn't still really look real, but if we select it all and give it a black outline, look at that. It just kind of pops out. It almost makes the leaves look roundish. Pretty cool. I hope it helped them and hope it helped a little bit to you. Thank you for watching.